Okay, hello, my name is Laurent Brody, and this is my Microteach 2. This is going to be a grammar lesson about reported speech, and I am teaching a class of upper intermediate students, B23, and they are aged approximately between 16 and 30, and they are of a wide variety of nationalities, so there is no one main language group in the classroom. Hello everyone, welcome back to grammar class. So today we are going to talk about reported speech, which is a bit of a complicated topic. It sort of starts out simple and then gets more complicated as we go. So just like that, we're going to start simple and then we will get more complicated. We are going to report speech using different reporting verbs. That's your main objective in this classroom. And you will also be able to turn quoted speech into reported speech, which we're going to do right now. So let's start with something very basic. I am happy. I hope that all of you can agree with that. So what happens if I put these little marks on either side of it? When I do that, what does that mean? They're quotation marks, yes, which means? It means that this is something that somebody said, right? There is a person who is happy. And let's say that person is me, because I'm feeling pretty happy right now. I am happy, said Laurent. Full stop. And this magic little word, said, this is what we call, who knows the name for it? A reporting verb. And a reporting verb, the function of it is basically that it just tells you that somebody said something. So the simplest possible reporting verb would be said. And then later on in the classroom, we'll get into more complicated reporting verbs. So this is quoted speech right now. If I am reporting this speech, then I'm not going to see directly what Laurent said. I'm going to hear it through somebody else, right? So we might begin with Laurent said, and then what word do I need next? It's a magic word, very important. That. Laurent said that. And what we learned about that before is that anytime you have that in a sentence, it needs to be followed by what? Subject and verb, exactly. So we already have the subject and verb, but it's not going to be I am happy because we're not talking the first person anymore. So what is it going to be? Sure, let's try it. Laurent said that he is happy. All right, that's all good. Any problems? You spotted a problem. What is it? Yep, so this is a little rule. And to be honest, sometimes native speakers will break this rule. So you might hear native speakers use it or possibly not. But the rule is, if you have something in the quoted speech which is present simple, then when you turn that into reported speech, it's got to become past simple, right? So it's not he is happy, it's he was happy, right? Past simple. All right, so that all seems pretty good. One last thing. Is there any word in this sentence that I could leave out if I wanted to? Very good. That. So strictly speaking, that is optional, because you're only going to include the that in really formal situations. So if I'm talking with my friends, then I might say, so-and-so said that he was happy, or so-and-so said he was happy. And I could leave out the that, or I could include it, depends on me. If I'm writing a really formal essay, do you think I should include the that? Absolutely, yes. So the that is going to come back in a formal situation. Okay, so let's try something else. Let me shift over. So what if I say something like, I studied English at Oxford, said Mr. I don't know, let's call him Mr. X. I studied English at Oxford. Now, what do we notice about the ending of this verb, studied? It's already past tense, exactly. Right? So we're not going to be able to do the same thing where we turned present into past. Does that mean I can just leave it as it is? I could say, Professor X, let's call him Professor X after the X-Men. Professor X said that, parentheses, he studied English at Oxford and so on. Is that fine? Very good. So what I have to do in this case is I have to add that magic word had. He had studied, right? And what's the name of that tense? Very good. Well remembered, past perfect. Okay, so this is the basic rule. You're always going to take one step back into the past. So if you're starting with present simple and you report speech, you move back into past simple. If you start with past simple, you got to move back into past perfect. And what if I'm already at past perfect? Right, so what if I say something like, I had just finished, said, I don't know, Rachel. So if I always take one step back into the past, is there anything else that I can do here where it's already past perfect? Not really. There's nothing after past perfect. So when I quote this, I just say, Rachel said that, optional that, she had just finished. All right, so that's the basic rule behind reporting speech and changing the tense. Do you think that this is a super hard, fast rule that you always have to obey, or could it be broken, possibly? So this is one of those rules that native speakers will often break. So if you hear somebody saying something like, Laurent said he's happy, then it might be an informal situation. That might be why they're doing it. But generally speaking, especially in formal situations, you want to keep this rule. Okay, now where it gets complicated is we've been sticking with said so far. Said is a really simple verb. When we get into more complicated verbs like agree, admit, convince, threaten, right, then they're going to have their own grammatical rules. But just to start with, you all have this activity in front of you. Your task is a very simple one. I've compiled a bunch of quotes from a newspaper article. And all you have to do is take those quotes, there's 6 of them, and turn them into reported speech. That's it. So let's think about this. In your sentences, are you going to include the person who said it, yes or no? Yes, because it's reported. Are you going to include a reporting verb? Very good. And what do you think that reporting verb should be? Said, exactly right. Well, we don't need to get fancy just yet. We'll just stick with simple said. And then, of course, you are going to maintain the rule about stepping backward into the past. So, how long do we think we need? 5 minutes? I think you can do this in less than 5 minutes. I think it's pretty simple. So let's do 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and you can start right now.